Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ruchin Goyal. I'm a managing director, senior partner at BCG. And it's my real pleasure and privilege to be your moderator today to do a fireside chat with Mr. Sanjay Agarwal. Sanjay, welcome to the stage. The topic, of our discussion
So thank you.
is the topic of our discussion is the role technology, can play in financial inclusion in the context of small finance banks. And who better than Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, to be the lead
I hope
participant
so.
in the Fireside Chat. So I'll give a quick round of introduction of Mr. Sanjay. Many of you would know him. Uh, so Sanjay founded AU Financiers, I think way back in the 1990s
Six.
and 1996. And then when RBI came up with the guidelines on small finance bank, I think you were the only NBFC at that time to be given
Asset finance.
asset
Asset
finance
finance, yeah, yeah.
to be given the the small finance bank license. You are the largest small finance bank, one of the darlings of stock exchanges and investors, right? So I think you had a remarkable journey. We would like to understand from you, your perspectives of financial inclusions more broadly, but also the role technology has played.
Correct.
But sir, let me start by a slightly personal question. One thing that many of you would not know about Sanjay is he was a very avid cricketer, and I'm told you played in Ranji way back, when you were young.
No, I want to correct here. I played under 19 for Rajasthan.
You played under 19 for
So
Rajasthan.
neither under 19 was a great platform, neither Rajasthan was a great platform that time. But I played cricket.
Under 19 is also, a remarkable
Yes,
achievement.
yes.
So my real question is, this transformation from being a cricketer, a sportsman, to a banker, right? What lessons, have you taken from your sports life into your business life?
No, so thank you, Ruchin, and thank you, NPCI, and this entire Global Fintech Fest to give me this opportunity to speak to this large audience. I know it's post-lunch, so सबको नींद आ रही होगी, but let me try something so that you people can be awake and all those things. So, Ruchin, the story of cricketer, right, and I actually played till my 19, 20 years, and I was not good in my studies. And my only focus was to play for India and all those things. But unfortunately, being a son of a government servant, the luxury was not there to afford it. And, I have to switch it from cricket to CA, which was a very dry kind of, your own livelihood mission. But I think I would say, when I passed out in 95, and the day I passed out, I figured out that, I won't be doing any job. I won't be doing any practice. I won't be doing anything which is orthodox, right? Let me do something which is very new and all those things. So, and I think that whole risk-taking capability or entrepreneurship, I learned in my cricket days. Because, people generally ask me, whenever I say them, na, कि I used to play cricket lot, कि क्या करते थे आप? Bowler थे, batsman थे. So I used to tell them, यार, मैं bowler batsman नहीं था, मैं captain था. So I think the whole idea of leadership, taking risk, putting into that environment where things are challenging, things are to be done. Because Rajasthan itself was never a great state to play cricket, right? But to be there, to play very strong opponent like Mumbai or Delhi, all those people, you need guts. So I think I would say cricket played me much role in my till now, because the strong will, strong commitment on the ground. I know that every day is not same, because in cricket also, you might have scored 100 runs in first day, but you might get out in the next day first ball, right? So I know that every day is not same, You should have a talent, you should have commitment, you should have that purpose, to play and win, And as of bank, I used to tell that banks are not T20. Banks are for like test match, you have to strategize everything, you have to play long, right? So many, I think मैं bore कर दूंगा आप लोगों को, because I have a strong learnings from cricket, and which I do every day. I implement a learning every day so that I can get that scope to improve myself, also to get away from those noises and all those things so that I remain focused, and I strong feel that, if you want to be, like, we all know that 2023 World Cup is happening. So if India really want to win that World Cup, talent is huge, right? But whether their commitment, whether their whole bonding, whether their purpose is better than the others, is to be seen, right? And I strongly believe that if AU need to become the top class bank of this country, then it's not about talent. It is about now purpose, commitment, whether you have more hungry, whether team is hungry and team has a bonding, right? Whether we support each other in good times and bad times, is to be key for our success. So I think these are the things, which I have learned over the years at my cricket pitch, and of course now on my own professional journey. So very, very, I would say, very deep and very long-lasting journey, understanding of all those things.
That's truly inspirational, Sanjay. And
Yeah.
I take away, it's as a bank you have to think like a test match, not a T20. So, but the mahal right now is
Like,
what T20.
like for, again, जब बात छेड़ देते हो ना वो रुकना मुश्किल हो जाता है. Like, in cricket, you used to play first at school level. Then you used to play at somewhere at your society, colony level, right? And then you used to play at college level. Then you used to play at university level, then at state level. So for me, journey of cricketer also is like this. Journey of bank is also same, right? We remain a very ordinary NBFC supported by HNIs. Then we got the support of HDFC Bank. Then we got the support of, then we became full-fledged NBFC when we got money raised from private equity people. Then we got the SFB license. So our journey is also like that, right? We are not started bank from day one, Like nobody start their test cricket, from day one. They have to play through the whole system. So I think that is why, the cricket and my own journey is very relevant. Just बहुत सारी बातें आएंगी आज हम बात छेड़ दी आपने तो.
बिल्कुल.
हाँ ठीक है.
So just kind of, shifting topics a little bit,
Yeah.
we talk about this century and this, decade being India's decade. Government is talking about, our Prime Minister is talking about the Amrit Kal, that India can see over the next 10, 20 years. Now my question is, what is the role financial institutions, banks, small finance banks, NBFs, what role do they have to play if India really has to become, a developed country?
No, I think this question is very obvious because, if India really want to become a 10 trillion economy, right, all bank has to come together and have to play the very important role because, we are the only institution where the money comes and goes, right? And we are highly regulated. And regulation means that we have some specific purpose, right, And I learned in last 6 years that banks are public platform. It might be private, it might be public, it might be cooperative, it might be small, it might be universal, whatever way, right? You are a public platform. You are answerable to public because public has one way kind of trust on you. They keep their savings, they keep their float, they keep their transaction, they keep everything with you, right? Without a blink of eye, they trust on you, right? And the bank need to really manage those money in the best interest of them only, because there is a savior and there is a guy who want to take loan, right? You have to bridge in between them. So I think the more and more trust to be given in the system, right? More and more transparency to be given in the system, more and more service need to be built in system, then automatically the bank will grow. And the more and more money will come in bank, banks are more regulated, So we are being driven by, specific rules, compliance, and everything. And the way we are seeing in last 3 years post-COVID that, asset quality of every bank has improved a lot. So I think there we are playing a very important role. And then we have this specific agenda by regulator, right? For us as a SFB, we have a 75% money going to priority sector. 75% is a huge, right? We have an objective like, 50% of our loan book has to be lesser than 25 lakh. So it's widely distributed then, right? Our 25% branches are in unbanked, So not only about the loan and about the deposits, banks also play a very important role as an opinion maker in these markets, People generally take us very seriously, that we are the guy who understand finance, we understand the entire spectrum around the financial services. So like, like you go to doctor once you are ill, right? So for financial health also, people generally depend on the bankers to consult, to decide, right? So I think by virtue of our SFB, RBI gave us a license 6 years back. The whole objective was to go more deeper and deeper, build your franchise there, and of course, we being an SFB, we need to price our deposit little high. So that is why, at AU, we always say that we take money from big guys, HNIs, we price them high. They also get benefited. And we lend into the semi-urban rural areas, right? So I think this kind of model designed by RBI itself says that how important we are in. Because, if you have a branch in deep kind of village, and you have even a two-man team there, they are the opinion makers. People are dependable on them to understand even how the KYC is being done. What is all about Aadhaar? What is all about NPCI? What is all about UPI? What do you mean by OTP? What do you mean by passwords? What do you mean by so many things, right? So, when my team talks to me that, sir, काम तो कम हो रहा है, लेकिन बातें बहुत होती हैं. And when I used to understand their बातें, तो बातें यही हैं सारी. So I used to tell them, कि yeah, this is also part of your life. Because, it's not that the doctor will only will tell you about illness. He will also tell you about preventive. कि भैया ये खाना, ये करना, ऐसे करना, right? So I think bankers are playing a very important role, not only in terms of transaction, in terms of this whole opinion maker position, and people are dependable on us, right? So I think that is one thing which I believe that in our journey of $10 trillion, banks will be more responsible, and bank has to be responsible, and they have to play the role of this whole movement that, how the money can be taken care. And second, I think the most important thing is now the digital, right? Because I think the way the banks has adopted digital, and I'm saying responsible digital, where, because, we've been highly, highly regulated, right? Whatever application we adopt has to go through a very rigorous process, right? It is not that we may be careless in between, right? So we know that our tech team is always been questioned by the whole regulator or our internal auditor or auditors that whether you don't have any risk for public money, right? Whether you don't have any risk around data, right? Data sharing. So I think the whole construct of a bank is very responsible in that sense, right? So money is in your account. You have a digital bank. You are a public figure. You are a public platform, so you are a public figure. People see you very large in that sense, So I think in this $10 trillion economy, I believe that banks need to grow themselves to the next level. They have to be more responsible. Their attitude, their outlook has to be more helpful, more friendly, And at AU, we are trying our best to be like that.
Great. I think you, made a very good analogy that bankers are almost like doctors, right? So
Yes. Yes,
you give
yes.
the financial health and financial advice.
Yeah. Because I've been and I ran NBFC for 22 years, right? And mostly from Rajasthan. And Rajasthan have 6 crore population, right? And I worked for 22 years as NBFC in the state of Rajasthan, I was assumed by 2017, till we're in NBFC, what 10% people would be knowing me? So 6 crore mein, maybe 60 lakhs people would be knowing me. But the post I became bank, entire Rajasthan knows me. Every single guy knows me because I'm now a banker, right? So I touches their life day in, day out, So it's very, very important and very responsible platform.
Great. Just moving on, Sanjay, we've seen in India a very massive, disruption by technology, right? India is like the case study around the world, the way our India OpenStack has been set up, the way UPI transactions are going up. But a lot of focus is always on the urban centers, people who are well off, educated. Can you give me some examples of how you're seeing rural India, really the marginalized people, them benefiting from this technology stack?
No, I think is mistaken because the whole objective of SFB was to be more sharper, more deeper, more relevant for this whole semi-urban and rural India. We have around 1,030 touch points. Out of that, 60% touch points are into these areas. We would have employed around 15,000 people there. our 70% assets are in those markets. In terms of our digital acceptance, we have around close to 10 lakh, 1 million monthly user on our app. Out of that, 50% monthly users are coming from semi-urban and rural areas. We started video banking, right? And I'm not calling video KYC. We started video banking, where people can come, do their video KYC, can open their account, can do the transaction also, can take the wealth advice, insurance advice, or even a bank advice, right? So in there also, our 50% traffic coming from this semi-urban and rural areas, the acceptance of tech, is huge, and banks are playing a very important role because, if you use e-commerce or if you use any other app, still you don't feel insecurity around it, right? But if you are using a bank app or a bank technology, then you must be sure about your tech capability because your money is at stake, right? So I think I would say that our India or Bharat is actually adopted technology. Even our 40% credit card, we just started credit card 2 years back. Close to 2 lakh credit card are into these areas now. So, and POS machines are not there much. So where they're using it? They are using on e-commerce site. They are using on other application available on this site. So now, so I don't think, to be very honest, like I would say, what now, 2023? By next 10 years, every family in India, right? We have around 25 crore families. Every family will have somebody there in next 10 years who can understand tech and can use tech. So this, I think, we as a banker cannot be like this that ki bhaiya ye tum share ke liye bana rahe hain. Your language has to be Bharat. Your approach need to be like Bharat. Where people, I'm saying the experience, the easiness, the convenience, the communication, everything has to be thought through. Because there will be a commoner who's always in the village who want to use your app. Because if you miss that opportunity, then you'll be missing the opportunity of 70% of India, right, in next 10 years. So we are, at AU, are very cognizant of this fact that we are not building any app for the only urban markets. We need to be very specific for our rural and semi-urban markets and has to go there and think through. Yeah. So that's my sense, right? It's a transition, but we cannot leave it as it is, कि वहाँ कुछ होता नहीं है.
No, clearly, we can't leave 70% of India behind. So,
Sorry?
we cannot leave 70%.
Yeah, because, we have pre-approved offers of PL, BL, credit card on our app, right? So, and I'm seeing that, pre-approved offer are being more used by semi-urban and rural area than in urban markets, right? So I think those data, are very relevant. And people need to think through it because I don't think that after 10 years there would be any single family in this country who would be saying that I don't know what tech is, right? Yeah.
So, moving on, Sanjay, talking about technology, and we are in a global fintech forum, and there are a lot of fintechs here in the audience. How do you look at fintechs? Because fintechs are trying to innovate, come up with technology solutions. So do you look at them as your competitors who are also trying to do business, or can they be your partners in this journey of trying to serve the 70% of India using
So
technology?
very simple answer that you are asking a cricketer that how is football?
You think
so,
fintech?
so I think we are in a separate zone, right? And I know I can debate with many of you there because they would be saying that you are privileged as a bank, and we say that you are free as an institution, right? And but they say because you are protected, regulated, I will say that there is a on-tap availability. Go and take the license, right? But I think both structure are very different, right? We have a public money. We have a public money, right? I think if you have a public money, you have to do it in a very differently than you have your own money, right? Because public has an unassuming trust on a bank, right? And I have example there, right? And for the benefit of people, right? Because my wife, Jyoti, had a locker till 2017 in HDFC Bank, and before that it was in SBI, right? And once I started a bank, so she told me that, I want to shift my locker now to AU Bank. So I said her, कि भैया ये गलती मत करना, because you needed trust, right? HDFC has more trust than me now, right? So I think, people generally has so much of trust on bank, ki they want to keep their money, their jewelry, their entire savings, entire things, So and fintechs are very different in their whole approach, They are disruptor, right? They think beyond what is there on the ground as of now, right? We are highly regulated, right? Highly compliant. So I would say there is no comparison between bank and fintechs. They have their own road. They are playing their game. We are playing on our own turf. But of course, there is some converge. Like, I strongly recommend that they inspire us a lot. So like, we have learned in the last 5-6 years how to acquire customers, how to have a frictionless journeys, right? How to be more customer obsessed. I think these are the things which I have learned from fintech, because they talk in this language, right? And we never used to speak this kind of language. But I think at AU, we haven't done much partnerships, because it is not that it's a straight no, no, no. But I think we are highly compliant, right? We don't take chances around security level. We don't take chances around the future more, right? We don't take chances around the customer satisfaction. We don't take chances around compliance, right? So I think, but I have strong respect for them, because on a backhand, right, these guys have done tremendous things. Like, if a fintech is a product company, then I'm so happy, because they actually challenge people like Oracles or Accentures of the world, right? And I feel very good about them, because मुझे लगता है यार, India product company कहाँ है? India की tech में product company कहाँ है यार? I love to support them. I love to interact with them. And there are many. I'm so happy that our entire tab banking has been built by one of our friend who's having stall here, Decimal, right? It's working so well. Our video banking stack has been built by some Indian, working so well. Our whole innovation, new product launch around credit card is done by some very small startup from Bangalore, right? The name is Ram, right? A huge engineering, right? So I think if you are engineer, you can create something, you can create product, right, for the banks. I'm more than willing to come to you. But if you have a business, then I don't think we have some common point, because I don't think so, honestly. As of now, I might change my views, because I might start playing football also.
Yeah. So just, looking at the time, my last question to you, Sanjay, apart from being a banker, you're also one of, the pioneers in terms of being a promoter, in terms of being a businessman, right? Any advice to fintech founders as they look at their business, how to scale up a business, what are the challenges? Any advice to them?
So play cricket. So it's difficult for to advise, right? Because who am I to advise you? But I think everybody will have his own journey. Everybody will have his own pain and gains. So, but my own experience says that very strong will, has to be there. No pain, no gain. मतलब ये सब बातें लिखी हुई हैं, मैं तो रिपीट ही कर रहा हूँ, right? But I have experienced it, right? And to remain very high on compliance, I don't think that compliance should be a choice. आप चोरी इसलिए नहीं कर रहे हो क्योंकि आपको कोई देख नहीं रहा है, cannot be a right strategy, right? You don't do this because that's not right. मुझे लगता है कि the whole young India need to be, and is being now pushed from top. So मुझे लगता है choice भी कम है आजकल, but choice होती भी तो नहीं लेनी है, because you are a journey of 20, 30, 40 years, right? So I think you need to be high on compliance. Still, if आपको पता है यार ये चीज सही नहीं है, your दिल से कि चीज सही नहीं है, don't walk on that. Don't walk on that, because somehow, somewhere, somebody will catch you up. and then you have to again begin from zero, and they, people might lose trust on you. Don't short chase. And you are the boss. You are the entrepreneur, right? Don't do any excuses, because what I have also observed, honestly, Ruchin, over the year, that once you get a support from investors, right, you start comparing them with you. You say कि आपने ये पैसा लगाया है, आपकी भी इक्विटी रिस्क है, तो हम दोनों एक ही बोट पे हैं. No. I think I have learned that, investors and entrepreneur, are never in the same boat. They might have 10 companies, you only have one. So you are the ultimate boss. This is your product. This is your company. This is your will. ये आपकी जिद थी. Be on that path. Be inclusive also. Build inclusiveness. Don't be selfish. आपको देना ही पड़ेगा. यदि आप फर्स्ट जनरेशन एंटरप्रेन्योर हो, तो आपको सारा बेनिफिट अगले जन्म में होने वाला है. ये जन्म में तो आपको देना ही पड़ेगा. So just give, and you will find amazing, because, my journey says that I started this company without capital. And I think it was one of the most foolish decision I would have taken, right? Because in a capital intensive business, how come a guy come and say कि I will do this business, right? So I think मैं इसलिए बोलना चाहता हूँ कि वो जो बड़ी अच्छी किताब मुझे बड़ी अच्छी लगती है वो stay foolish, stay hungry, तो ज़्यादा होशियार भी नहीं बनना है. And I think you have to be very simple, remain focused on your product, your company, be inclusive, remain compliant, be positive, build team, build yourself, think for long, and don't look for return. It comes, but you are on the journey, right? I think these are something which I believe that, it worked in my favor. Hopefully it can work in your favor also. But this is my advice, right? Don't take it seriously. You can have your own way. You can build yourself also.
Thank you so much, Sanjay. It was a real pleasure.
Well, thank you so much.
Interacting with you.
Thank you so much.
And a lot of points to think about. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Pleasure.